Major Hamza Almustapha, who was a former chief security officer to late General Sani Abacha, has denied the late head of state stole money from Nigeria. He was speaking to journalists in Lagos State, southwest Nigeria, on some number of issues relating to his 15 years in detention. He said the major amount of money kept in foreign accounts by the late leader was hidden due to an impending sanction on the country at that time. He said the decision to stash the money in foreign bank accounts was taken by the late General Abacha and some high-ranking officials who are still influential in Nigeria today. Earlier this year, the Swiss government confirmed it had so far returned $723 million, which is about 142.43 billion naira seized from the family of Sani Abacha to the Nigerian government over the last 10 years.
I was highly embarrassed in 1999 when we were taken to, we transferred from Ikoyi prison around November or December. That was when I heard the word Abacha loot. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed. I was very embarrassed. And I reacted. Why? Where was the money from? What was it for? Who kept the money? How much was the money? And when was this money stashed out? How was it taken out? And remember, Abacha was not always living Nigeria. He traveled at the beginning. Yes, he traveled out to India, to Saudi Arabia, to Pakistan. He went to so many countries at the beginning in 1994. But when he came back, most of his journeys were within African countries. South Africa and many West African states, to Central Africa at one time, and North Africa. These were most of the places he visited. In most cases, he was being represented in the tenureship of General Abacha. For the 4 years, 7 months, he found himself in power. Abacha has had numerous attacks, away from the few that was mentioned. There were collaborations between some notable Nigerians and some international powers to remove him out of office. General Abacha is dead. But those he stepped upon decided to invest by smearing his name. In Nigeria, over the years, decades, there are some people who have grown bigger than the laws of Nigeria, bigger than security agencies of Nigeria, bigger than governments in Nigeria. But during Abacha's tenure, in the course of trying to remove him out of office violently, Abacha had to defend himself, and he allowed the law to take its course. So notable Nigerians were arrested. They were tried. They never take it in good light. They have still not forgiven General Abacha. And I have my reasons for saying not yet. They have not yet forgiven Abacha, even at death. Now, sanctions also were threatened upon Nigeria. And the survivability of the government then, to my knowledge, was a key thing. There was also a decision at one point in time where some stakeholders of Nigeria were invited to Abuja at Brigade of Guards officers' mess, at a mess called Camp Bassett officers' mess in Abuja. Traditional rulers, key politicians, key businessmen from the north to the south who sat down to converse. At that time, Chief Tommy Kim was foreign minister. And when sanction was threatened on Nigeria, at the request of some notable Nigerians, some modalities were taken to allow some money go to some accounts abroad, so that when sanction comes, that money will be able to keep Nigeria afloat. At that time, oil was $7, $8. No loan was taken to run Nigeria. Policies were taken, including PTF, so that Nigeria could grow. At one time, from prison, I wrote a note to late General Abacha's family, and I said, in the name of God, don't get cowed down from the pressure and the segregation and the abuses you receive every day. Come to the fore and tell the whole world whatever is in the contents of the money they are talking about as loots. The dates of lodgement of that money will show whether monies were kept in his name before he became head of state, and monies that were kept in his name after he became head of state. That is step one, to do yourself justice. I suggested. Number two is also to give history as to what that money was kept and meant for. There are stakeholders you can go for. I was in detention at that time, but I can remember faces of many, many big men who attended that Abuja Kambasi meeting where this decision was taken. And all these people are there. But then, unfortunately, till this moment, I don't think there was any interview that was presented to these personalities. And there are many.